we're here again, taking that pile of source material you send us and, well, boiling it down to what you really need to know.
Yeah, giving you that shortcut to being genuinely informed. And today, it's a really interesting one. How to get fluent in English fast. The sources you shared, they lay out a pretty clear path.
They really do. It starts with the basics, like talking about your day, moves into more complex chat, and then hits this key learning technique.
Exactly. So our mission today is to pull all that together. We'll look at the essential daily language, then some more advanced stuff for socializing or work talk.
And crucially, we need to spend some real time on this technique called shadowing. Because it's not just what you say, right? It's how you train yourself to say it without thinking.
Precisely. It all starts, according to these sources, with being able to describe your own daily life. Your routine seems basic, but it's foundational.
Okay, let's unpack this.
So the materials give us two different daily routines. Good examples.
Right, and what's interesting is how they're expressed differently. Routine A, that's the teacher's day, she wakes up at 6:0. But, and this is a neat little detail, she doesn't actually get up until 6:50. There's a difference.
Yeah, that's a good distinction. Then it's ironing clothes, catching a bus at 8:50, quite a commute, 45 minutes.
Yep, and then teaching slots, 9.25 to 11.25, then again 1 to 3. Plus, she sometimes teaches from home, too, using EF English Live, apparently.
So that one gives us lots of verbs for, daily chores, work, commuting. Routine B is different, though. It's used more for specific practice points in the sources.
How so?
It's much more precise. This person wakes at 7:00, brushes their teeth for exactly 2 minutes. I love that detail.
Yeah, very specific.
Makes scrambled eggs and toast, leaves the house at 8:30 sharp, arrives at the office 9:15, works till 5. Very structured.
Okay, so looking at both, I can immediately see where learners might struggle. Like, why do we say get up? Or tidy up? Why the up?
Oh, you've nailed it. That's the first big takeaway. Phrasal verbs. They are everywhere in daily English. You just can't avoid them if you want to sound natural.
So wash the dishes is okay, but wash up sounds more native.
Exactly. It flows better in conversation. And it's not just phrasal verbs, is it? It's also those little helper verbs.
You mean like you don't just lunch?
Right. You have lunch. Or you get dressed. You don't just dress. You take a shower.
It feels like English just loves adding these extra little words.
They're not really optional, though. Have, get, take. They're part of the structure. You got to learn them. And speaking of structure, notice the times.
Oh, yeah. Different ways of saying it. 6 o'clock. Then just £6.50.
And that word sharp, 8:30 sharp, it adds that sense of absolute precision.
That word sharp is great. But it leads to the next question, doesn't it? How do you go from knowing 8:30 sharp to actually saying it naturally without stumbling?
Perfect transition, because we've talked about the routines, the verbs. Now we need the how. How do you build that fluency, that muscle memory?
And this is where it gets really interesting. We're talking about shadowing, which sounds a bit mysterious, maybe?
It does, but it's quite straightforward, really. It's not just listening and repeating after someone. That's important, but shadowing is different.
How so?
You listen, and you speak at the same time as the native speaker.
Okay.
Well, like a shadow follows you instantly. You're mimicking them in real time.
Okay, real time. So what exactly are we mimicking? Just the words?
No, that's the crucial part. You're copying everything. The pronunciation, yes, but also the intonation, the melody of the sentence, the rhythm, and the speed.
Ah, okay. So the goal is to train your mouth and brain to work together at English speed without stopping to translate everything first.
Exactly that. You bypass the internal translator. Think about it. If you hear someone say, I'm going to go to the store, using the relaxed form gonna, and you try to shadow that,
You can't stop to think, gonna means going to, which in my language is. You'd fall behind instantly.
precisely. The speed forces you to just produce the sounds, the rhythm. You start to feel how sentences flow, how words link together naturally. Your mouth learns the movements.
It's about getting the sentences to feel like they're rolling off your tongue naturally, like the sources say. It's less academic, more physical training.
It really is like athletic training for your speech muscles. And if you connect this back to those phrasal verbs like get up, shadowing helps you nail the stress, the rhythm, get up, not get up. You hear it, you copy it repeatedly.
And that repetition, copying the tone and speed, that's why consistency is so important, I guess. Can't just do it once a week.
Definitely not. Active, out loud practice, matching the cadence, day after day. That's how the rhythm becomes part of your speech.
Okay, so shadowing is the engine. That makes sense. Now we have the technique. We can look at the fuel, the actual phrases we need for real conversations, moving beyond just the daily routine stuff.
Right. The source material gives us 3 really useful sets of vocabulary, themed around common situations. First up, just casual chat talking about what you've been up to.
Theme A, casual conversation and socializing. Weekend recap stuff. Let's try and use them like in a real mini chat, not just a list.
Good idea. So someone asks about your weekend. Instead of, I relaxed, you might say.
Oh, I just chilled out mostly. It was nice. I finally got around to cleaning the garage, though. I've been putting it off for ages.
Perfect. You've got chilled out, relaxed, got around to, finally did it, and put it off, delayed. Very natural. Or maybe something unexpected happened.
Yeah, you won't believe who I ran into at the supermarket. My old teacher from school. Hadn't seen her in years. Anyway, I was so tired last night, I just crashed out on the sofa around 9.
Nice. Ran into, met unexpectedly, and crashed out, fell asleep fast. These phrasal verbs just pack a lot of meaning efficiently, don't they? And then there's starting work. Okay, Monday morning, time to get down to some serious work.
Right, get down to meaning, start focusing. Okay, moving to theme B, planning and giving advice. This feels crucial for making decisions, like travel plans.
Definitely. Let's imagine planning a trip. You might say, I'm really stuck on whether to go to Italy or Spain, trying to narrow it down.
Stuck on, can't decide. Narrow it down. Reduce the options. Good ones. And then a friend gives advice. The sources highlight that key phrase.
If I were you. The classic advice structure, polite but clear.
Okay, if I were you, I'd definitely choose Italy, but you need to factor in the train costs between cities. They can add up.
Exactly. Factor in included in your planning. And maybe, you might really take to the food in Rome, meaning you might really start to like it.
So using these helps you sound more considered, I suppose.
Yeah.
When giving opinions.
Yeah, it moves beyond just, I think you should. It adds nuance. Okay, final theme. Theme C, career goals and future ambition. This uses some really great expressive language.
Right, for talking about potentially big life changes, like thinking about a career shift.
Someone might say, I've been doing a lot of soul searching lately, really thinking deeply about things. I'm wondering if I should branch out from my current job in finance.
Soul searching and branch out, start something new, great phrases.
Yeah.
But maybe you're not ready to quit your job yet.
Right. You might want to test the waters first. Try the new thing part-time, maybe, see if you like it.
Better than just jumping in head first, right? Starting too quickly without thinking.
Definitely. And when you explain your final decision, maybe why you were changing careers, you could say, it boils down to wanting more creativity in my work.
It boils down to the main reason is. Love that. And maybe there's a downside.
Often there is. Yeah, it means taking a pay cut, which is a definite trade-off. But hopefully the job satisfaction will be worth it. Accepting a negative for a positive.
Practicing conversations around these themes of career, travel, socializing it naturally makes you use those modal verbs, doesn't it? Might, could, going to.
Absolutely. You can't talk about plans or possibilities without them. I might test the waters is very different from I am going to test the waters. Practicing these scenarios helps you internalize that difference.
Okay, so we have the technique, shadowing, and we have these chunks of advanced vocabulary. Let's quickly look at how even simple stories use key language. That puddle anecdote from the sources.
Ah, yes, the story about Jake. Walking home from the library. Starts raining. Oops, forgot his umbrella.
So he runs.
And bam, steps right into a big puddle. And the library books get wet. That's the key detail that makes it sting.
Right. And his friend Maya listens, and then she connects it to her own memory. That's very conversational.
It is. And from that simple story, we get useful bits. First, the word puddle itself, useful noun. Second, the question Maya probably asked to keep the story going. Then what happened? Standard narrative prompt.
And third, how Maya linked her memory. That reminds me of the time I fell in a puddle at school. That phrase that reminds me of is such a useful connector in conversation.
Totally. And the practical advice given at the end of the scenario in the source is also key everyday language. Change your clothes, and next time, check the weather forecast. Simple, functional.
Wow, okay. We've covered a lot. Daily routines, phrasal verbs, supporting verbs, the whole shadowing technique focusing on rhythm and sound.
And then there's 3 big areas of conversation. Chilling out and socializing, planning and advice, and career ambitions. Plus that little puddle story tying it together.
We basically broke it down into structure, technique, and application.
Exactly. Master the structure, verbs, routines, use the technique, shadowing for rhythm, and then apply it with the right vocabulary for different situations.
So what does this all mean? I guess it means you can't just passively learn lists of words.
Not if you want fluency, no. It means you need that active practice. Using shadowing to make phrases like chilled out or factor in, feel natural, not forced. You have to say them, feel the rhythm.
Okay, so building on that idea of testing the waters from the career section,
Right.
here's a final thought, a challenge for you listening.
Yeah, try to actively use something from today. Maybe pick one of those conversational phrases we talked about, like, I need to factor in the traffic, or I ran into an old friend. Use it in a real conversation this week.
And maybe also try that little structural point we noticed, that word sharp. Describe one thing this week that happens at a very specific time using sharp.
My meeting is at 2 p.m. sharp. Or I leave the house at 7:30 sharp. Just feel how that one word adds that touch of fluency.
Exactly. Small, active steps. That's how the knowledge moves from just listening to actually speaking. Thanks for diving deep with us today.